I don't want to use the orange though, because I think that'd be just too much competing with the foreground. So I'm going to go back to, again, my mixture of kind of my gray with more Mayan blue in it. So I'm into this area right now. You can see this is leaning towards the bluer side. And again, it's hard because this paper is so curving on me. Rinse off the brush, straight water as you come down. Try not to go back and forth over the same area more than once if you can. That's easier said than done. I'm going to drop a little bit more color into here and just let it feather down. You could just spray the surface with water too. I do that for larger paintings instead of using a brush necessarily. I'll just spray an area, then drop the color in and let it move around. But for smaller paintings, I find it's just easier to just use a squirrel mop. Just letting that feather down this way a little bit. As you see, as it gets wet, then it starts to flatten on you. No, I think that's better. Darken down those corners. Gonna make the eye go more towards the center here. There are a couple, and I've got a little spot in there. Now, that spot of Mayan blue, which I didn't like earlier, I told you I was gonna get rid of. I tried using just a brush and a little bit of water. I think that's dry. So what I'm gonna do is, so obviously if you use a brush, what happens is it has a tendency to start to lift off too much color, and then that little spot becomes a big problem. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm literally just going to take a snap blade, a razor blade, and where this little spot is, and it's got to be dry. I'm just going to scrape it off the top of the surface, and then take a white eraser, and so now you see there's a little bit of white from the paper showing through, and that's fine. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my brush of clean water, go back into here, and just disturb the color a little bit, and then when that dries, you won't even notice that spot anymore. So that's an easy fix for like little spots where you don't want them to be. Continue to look at the rest of the photograph to see if there's anything I want to change right now. Go back in with a little bit of my Mayan blue, kind of some more detailing at this point in time. Just drop in a little bit of just some different lines, so it's not all just big blobs of shapes. Put something in here. It just makes it a little more interesting. All right, this is a eraser mark. That's not, and so you see how I darken down those corners. I can continue to play with that if I want to. I'm going to take a little bit of my just kind of dark mix here and on the palette, and I'm just going to put in a suggestion of a window. So if you mask out too much stuff to start with, always go back in later and fix it. Do a little line there. Just a little calligraphy. Doesn't really even have to make that much sense. And I think this painting is the finished painting. Last night, after I was done painting, I took my spray bottle, I sprayed the back of the paper with a little bit of water, put it between some heavy boards overnight, and then it's completely flat in the morning. And then after I pulled it out, I realized that when I was spot toning, I had some hard edges up in here. I wanted to get rid of those, so what I did was I just put a little bit of pure water down on top of those edges, let it soak in for a few seconds, and took a paper towel and just gently lifted out a little bit of the color. I had to lighten up this super dark area just a tad bit also. Use the same technique, just dropped a little bit of water onto this, let it sit for a few seconds, take your paper towel, then soak up some of that color. And I'm going to call this painting complete now. I'd like to thank you for being a part of this video demonstration today. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you have any questions or comments, please, hopefully non-threatening ones, please send them to me and I'll give you as soon as possible. Good luck painting and enjoy.